Hey guys, it's Luca with Learning MTG. So I just started learning Modern because I felt like I wanted to kind of get a grasp for this format and have some fun. And so the first deck I built was this red-white aggro deck. Um, Basically, what this deck is trying to do. Let me pull it up in the other section. You basically, I pretty much mulligan every hand that doesn't have a one drop in it. So I think you pretty much have to play your one drop. And you are playing 12 one-drops, Clever Lumimancer, Soul Scar Mage, and Monastery Swiftspear. And basically, all of these creatures get bigger whenever you play a non-creature spell. And you're just basically trying to kill them as quickly as possible. Sometimes you have free spells that cantrip, like Manamorphose and Mishra's Bauble, so you can get some extra damage off of those. And then it's just your typical, Lava Dart, Lightning Bolt, Mutagenic Growth. So you basically very aggressive deck. You can kind of play a long game. You're playing Luris, but in general, you're gonna struggle in a long game. But one of the differences between like an aggro combo, this is like an aggro-ish combo-ish deck and a straight combo deck is if you're playing a combo deck and your combo doesn't come together, you have no chance of winning. Whereas if you're playing a deck like this, your cards don't kind of match up perfectly. Your opponent may stumble a lot, and then you can randomly kill them with a few lightning bolts, right? So it's not like a completely all or nothing thing. Um, so that's a nice advantage to have over a combo deck. Of course, there are some disadvantages like compared to an aggro deck, things can kind of fall apart much more for you because you really are reliant on, landing stuff, having stuff land together. Your deck is a lot softer to like a turn one fatal push than your typical aggro deck. So that's kind of how this deck is designed. It's not my deck. I copied it from a 4.0 list somewhere. And then I just wanted to show you like the power of this deck because I had some pretty crazy games recently, which really impressed me. So let's try to go back over here. Right now I'm 4.0 in this league. So I played against Affinity. Well, let's talk about my games against Amulet because Amulet's like a more typical deck that you'll play against. And I think we both had like decent draws. Okay, so I had to mulligan because I didn't have a one drop. He plays turn one amulet, which means I'm probably dead. And this is kind of the nature of modern from my experience. It's very like you gotta mulligan into whatever your deck is trying to do. There's probably more mulligans in modern than well, I don't know. Maybe the older formats you mulligan a lot too, but in modern, like each deck has like its very specific thing it's trying to do. Like a Tron deck is trying to assemble Tron. This deck is trying to get a one drop in play. My opponent's deck is trying to get an amulet in play and play a Titan. There's like a very specific game plan. Things might change, game two when everyone can sideboard and answers. But in turn one, in game one, I think everyone's really just trying to mulligan into their kind of linear strategy. So I attack with Swift Spear. He plays Gruul Turf. And has the Azusa. So now he can make an extra 4 mana. And he plays Sakura Tribe Scout and Dryad. And he can play an extra land because of the Dryad. So I'm pretty much, if he's got a Titan, I'm in a lot of trouble. And if he doesn't, then I'm probably not in great shape either. But because I only have one creature, this deck is a lot more powerful when you get two of your creatures in play. So he doesn't block, which is smart. And it's basically, I'm just praying he doesn't have Titan. There's not much more to it. I kind of get this feeling when I'm playing Modern where it's just like, I just hope my opponent doesn't have it. Like a lot of games I think come down to what people have in their hands as opposed to kind of like play decisions. That's what it feels like. Um, which means, kind of the skill set of Modern, I think, will be a lot of deck selection and sideboarding and mulliganing. Those will be kind of like the best ways to gain an edge in Modern. So I lost to that. Let's go to game 2. I think this will show kind of the raw power of this deck. So I've got a Soul Scar and a Swift Spear, which is really ideal. You really want to have like 2 of these things. I wish there was a way to go slowly through this. Not really. Okay, so he plays a Grazer and he's got an Amulet. Amulet's like the scariest card out of their deck. Although an interesting thing is I decided not to sideboard in ways to kill Amulet because I don't think it's worth trying to kill their Amulet. Once it's in play, it's kind of too late. And similarly, I don't side in Path because I think also like pathing their Titan, it's probably too late at that point. I need to just kill them before they get a Titan. Okay, so I can Mutagenic Growth to kill the Arboreal Grazer and then light up the stage. And I hit Boros Charm and Lava Spike. He plays the Tribe Scout, Urza Saga. Okay, and now this is turn 3, and I think if I had one more mana, I'd be able to kill him because I'd be able to Boros Charm, Double Strike one of my guys. So it's already turn 3, and I've played through 2 blockers. Yeah, he pretty much needs a Titan here. He could have a Path, but I think it's pretty clear he would have already used the Path at this point. And so, yeah, just Lava Spike, light up the stage, and I've got this Lava Dart in my graveyard so I can kill him with that. So turn 4 kill through 2 blockers. Not super impressive. But if I had drawn an extra land, it would have been turn 3 kill through 2 blockers. So I think that's something you always want to keep in mind is like the fact that you're an aggro deck that can win on turn 3. It's almost like you're a combo deck in a way, because you can like race other combo decks, or you can just kill people out of nowhere. So let's go to game 3. Game 3, my opponent basically just didn't have a Titan, so he's got Amulet again. Again, Amulet's like the scariest card out of their deck. I have double Swift Spear, which is really good. Probably the only thing I'd rather have than double Swift Spear is like Lumimancer or Swift Spear. So he's got plenty of mana. He just needs the Titan. So he plays a Souza, he plays Arboreal Grazer. So I'll talk about one play that happens here. That's kind of important. So I play Swift Spear. I play this Bauble. I saved the Bauble because I had 2 Swift Spears for like extra point. So here I'm going to attack, and I don't think it's a good block for him to block, because if he blocks, then I can kill 2 of his creatures with 1 Lightning Bolt. I think he wants to really save his blockers here, so I get to kill the Asuza and the Grazer with 1 Lightning Bolt, which means he's almost definitely dead here if he doesn't have something. But I knew he had a land in hand, and I Mishra's Bobbled another land, so I knew he was all lands. So now he's almost definitely dead. You know, when you get in this type of situation, 3 free spells and a light up the stage. And I drew the Boros Charm now, so I just need to draw a land to kill him. Actually, I don't even need to draw a land to kill him. So I played 2 mana Morphos, a Mishra's Bauble, and then I played Boros Charm to give my creature double strike, attack him for exactly lethal. So that's a turn 3 kill through 2 creatures. That's pretty awesome. Pretty impressive. I mean, granted, his draw wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible either. He had some stuff going on. Okay, so that was the 3rd round. I want to show this round too, because I think some of my wins here were really impressive. So this is game 1. I'm playing against Affinity. My opponent's on the play. We both keep 7. He's got Ornithopter, Springleaf Drum, Aether, Spellbomb, and Frogmite. I've got Lumimancer. Lumimancer is really good against his deck. So yeah, he attacks. Not sure if it was a good attack because he has to trade his Spellbomb for my Mutagenic Growth. I think if I were him, I'd really want to save that Spellbomb for something better. He's got double cranial plating, so he's just going for the kill. Probably the correct play, but I don't know, maybe it's not. I can just kill him here. He doesn't block. Okay, so even if he did block, so I'm going to kill him here because he doesn't block, and I can Boros Charm my guy, and just the one creature is going to do 20 damage or so to him. But if he did block with Frogmite, I would Lightning Bolt one of his creatures, and then I would Lava Dart, sack a land, kill his other creatures. So he'd be out of creatures, and he'd be in really bad shape. So he was kind of screwed either way. But it just shows you the crazy power of this. I Boros Charm my creature. It has double strike. I'm about to Lava Dart him. So I did 27 damage on turn 3 with an aggro deck. It's pretty crazy. And he even threw like an Aether Spellbomb. So yeah, and I had to use one of my, well, I guess the Mutagenic Growth was for the Aether Spellbomb, but still, you can kind of see the power of this deck. And then I'll show you the last game that I played. I think he mulliganed though, like to 5 or something. And he mulligans to 5, yeah, so it's gonna be rough for him. The card I'm most afraid of from his deck is the Muldrift, the new Muldrifter. So it's pretty lucky for me that he never played the new Muldrifter. So I've got the Mutagenic Growth, which is pretty lucky to always have the Mutagenic Growth. I want to save my Manamorphose. I want to try to bait him into Spellbombing. But he chooses not to. And now, like, this is, my hand is Manamorphose, light up the stage. So theoretically, if he knew what was in my hand, he could Pyrite Spellbomb my creature and I would be kind of blown out. But there's no way that he knows what's in my hand, and I could easily have Lightning Bolt, Mutagenic Growth, Lava Dart, and then if I had any of those cards, using the Spellbomb to kill my Lumimancer would be terrible. So I think it's pretty likely that when I cast Manamorphose, he's not going to try to kill my guy in response. And I'm just trying to draw like another creature and try to figure out what I want to do with this mana. So drawing cards off the Manamorphoses. And I draw like all bricks kind of. So now I have 2 options. I could either like 3 mana Lurrus or I can 3 mana light up the stage. I choose to light up the stage. I light up the stage, hits another clever Lumimancer and another light up the stage. And now he can either chump block with his Urza Saga guy or not. I don't know what I would do. In his situation, I probably wouldn't chump block. I don't think he's going to win a game like that. And I see that he's got a Glimmer Void with my Mishra's Bauble. And now he's kind of unlucky that I have the second Mutagenic Growth, so his Pyrite Spellbomb's going to whiff. But, I mean, he could have played around Mutagenic Growth and could have just Spellbombed my thing. So now I'm just going to kill him. Lava Spike, light up the stage, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. So it's like a turn 4 kill through like 2 disruption spells and a blocker. Although he did have them all to 5, but still. And I still got Lumimancer, Soulscar Mage, and I could even, play Lurrus and start bringing these guys back. So I like this deck. I don't know if it's tier 1, but if it's not tier 1, it's definitely closer to a tier 1, like a tier 1.5 or a tier 2. The other nice thing about this deck is you have core Firewalker in your sideboard, so you kind of win all these mirror matches. There's a lot of decks that are playing, very similar shell, um, with Monastery Swift Spear, Soul Scar Mage, Lava Spike, Lightning Dart, that whole thing. And so when you have core Firewalker in those matchups, you can really dominate. Um, and yeah, that's probably everything to be said. I like the fact that it's like a clean 2-color deck, clean mana base. Um, mulligans well. Um, your weaknesses are like if people have a good sideboard plan for you, you're in a lot of trouble. I'm sure there's cards that wreck you post board, probably like a Firewalker. Um, although you have paths, but and then like any turn one way to kill your creature, like a lightning bolt, even an Inquisition, and Fatal Push is the most brutal. So those are kind of the weaknesses of this deck. I'm going to keep testing this deck. I'm going to keep trying out different modern decks, just try to get a feel for the format. Surprisingly, this deck has none of the new cards in Modern Horizons 2, so that's kind of interesting that I ended up on a deck. I would have much more expected to end up on a deck with a lot of the Modern Horizons 2 cards. I think so far the best 2 cards from Modern Horizons seem to be Urza Saga and Ragavan. Ragavan seems really good. I don't think you want to play Ragavan in this deck because you have such a focused strategy. You really want to play creatures that have prowess or pseudo prowess, like Magecraft. Yeah, so that's this video. I just wanted to show you kind of the power of this deck, and I'm kind of exploring Modern and trying to figure it out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.